Hello guys and welcome back to the Innervated podcast. It's July 6th and this is episode number 12. We're here with my co-host once again to bring you an amazing show, I hope. I'm Radoslav Nidrakolev, editor-in-chief for GustoGamers.net, leader of the Hearthstone section. You know me because I'm super pretty and amazing, but also none of these things. I'm joined as usual by my dear co-host, the Chief. How are you doing today, mate? And what have you been doing the past week?
Well, you know, I celebrated yet another birthday. Got to see some great moments in Hearthstone, and then see some not so great moments in reporting on Hearthstone. So I'm looking forward to today. I'm gonna lambast the shit out of a motherfucker.
I need to say that I have no control over what you're going to say. Like, cause you asked me if it's okay, and I know that the idea of the show is that we don't sugarcoat anything. We just tell our minds. So everything goes. Everything goes.
Yes, but there are times I do need to be sugarcoated just to bring me down to a non-toxic level.
I know. You actually had July 4th, you know, right?
Yes, we did.
How was it for you?
Well, you know, I'm not your typical person. I don't go out and watch the fireworks because, you know, that involves me actually having to buy fireworks, which, you know, I had no money for. So instead, what I did was I made a complete Michael Bay-style shaman deck with nothing but bomb lobbers, Mad Bomber, Matter Bombers, RNG out the ass, took it on ladder, took it on unranked, ended up doing really good with the deck. It was a lot of fun. Probably the most fun I've had playing Hearthstone in a long time. People were loving that shit. So that to me, that was 4th of July. I struck out my own independence and fuck the meta.
Your birthday was actually on July 5th, right?
Yep.
Oh, well, bad timing there. Like, you could have been the truest American ever.
Oh, right. I could have been. But it's actually kind of surprising how many Hearthstone personalities' birthdays are really close together. Like E-Cop, myself. There's a bunch of us.
Really? All
that are all born in like the early portion of July. It's really scary.
Oh god. Yeah, it's the same for me. Like, all my best friends and girlfriend are between June and July. Like, I have about 7 or 8 birthdays in this period that I have to buy presents for it. When you're a poor esports journalist, or basically an esports journalist, you're poor, but you kind of feel sad.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, our second co-host for tonight is Sumadin, my colleague at GoSoGamers.net, joining us for a third show in a row. How are you doing today? And again, tell us about your past week of Hearthstone experience.
Well, I mean, it's been interesting. I mean, there's been a lot of events, there's been a lot of reporting, and it's been really, really hot doing all of that. Are you crazy? Like, it's been
Central
torture.
AC, Central AC.
Actually, it's Europe.
I don't give a damn. I got central air conditioning in here, man. I don't sweat nothing.
I'm not so privileged. So, yeah, I mean, that's been my week. Torture while doing coverage and working on various articles.
We'll bring one of these upcoming articles later in the show when we reach our main topic for the night. But first of all, let's start wherever we usually start, and it's the news roundup of the week. First of all, we have a new team being founded. It's called Fate to Karma, managed by Poach, who is known for founding and managing Don't Kick My Robot, probably the first team in Hearthstone ever. He was also later involved with I Heart You, and now he is,
I remember those guys.
Yeah.
I had one of their members on Don't Kick My Robot on my show. There was a little bit of a confusion on a couple things, and one of the guy forgot sponsors and all that, and me and Poach had this weird kind of like standoffish approach, like, look, I got a deadline, guy, so I'll do what I can, but this is about the best I can do for you.
Yeah, so the roster is kind of made from Hearthstone underdog veterans, I should say. Like, the most known names on there are Hawkeye, who recently had some really strong performances, most notably China vs. Europe, where he took second place. He went undefeated through the DreamHack Summer Swiss round. Sorry. But also other, Hearthstone veterans like Thoidis, Cypher, which were both on
both
Innovation.
Of which are in Vulcan. Both are in the Vulcan tournament that's going on right now.
Yeah, and I think Cypher is kicking ass at the moment. I think he just
from my understanding, yeah.
Yeah. And Thoidis and Cypher are playing. Carl is another ex-Innovation member, is their coach, I believe. We have other strong players like Deathlor, Vortex. Vortex actually took Assembly in the last Assembly, and Game King was the guy who I think qualified for China vs. Europe, if I'm not mistaken, but I might be. There was another Austrian there, but it might not have been Game King. Anyways,
either way, it's a solid team of like guys who've done really good in like the lower echelon communal tournaments and all that, have made strong showings. Toida has done very good. I mean, he actually was qualified to go to yet another qualifier for that second BlizzCon Hearthstone event, the one without Artosis. And he just couldn't do it for personal reasons. So, I mean, it's a strong lineup all around. It really is a strong line. These are some of my favorite people to see, and most of them I recognize from the tournaments I was running back in the day. So I know their potential. I know what they can do. So this is just really strong lineup, and if they get enough support, I honestly think they can put some numbers on the board.
I mean, it's they definitely have experience on their side, at least. So looking forward to some great results. We are yet to see something from them. Vulcan will be their first thing, as you said. But let's see how this goes. Sumarin, what do you make of this roster? Do you like it?
I mean, I do remember the I Have You thing. Like, that was kind of why I wrote my very first article for those guys. So, and then they just died down. I mean, it's always interesting to see a team with potential. I'd be concerned about their potential for publicity, because they don't seem to have a lot of players with, the wow factor. They don't have a Mass Archon. They don't have Reyna at Temperstorm. They don't have they seem like someone who would run under the radar, and that's what matters when getting sponsors.
So we have Hawkeye, and Hawkeye is in everything. Like, he will also be going to Gfinity Summer 1, and he's basically like the new Orange. He wins every qualifier. Like, he's mimicking the performances of Faramir, of Zizo, like all these qualifier monsters that just would enter everything and just win. So he's kind of like the guy that does this now.
Well, I mean, if he mimics the part where they end up winning the tournament, then I can see it happening. But
Yeah. Yeah.
That would just be a great win for that team all around if he does.
Gfinity Summer, he definitely looks like the stronger player. I mean, one of the strongest players there, Hawkeye, that is.
Yes, most definitely he does.
Let me actually bring up, because I don't think we plan to talk about Gfinity Summer Masters 1, but let's do just for a while, because we brought it up on topic. So,
off script.
So, Gfinity Summer Masters will be happening this weekend. It will be the first of 2 LAN events for this month. The other one will be Assembly at the end. And between July 11th and 12th in London, once again, another Gfinity Masters tournament. And this time it's just 8 players, no invitations, just the 8 players who qualified from the 4 open brackets. So, the list is exploding. Cal from London Conspiracy, Hawkeye, and Deathlord now from Fate to Karma. So both people representing the team there. Unskiller from, I think, Dark Ravens, the Polish team. Legendarian, who is currently teamless. Nick Chipper from Vegas Squadron. Tom 60229 from Flash Wolves, and Don't Stop Me, a French guy who I know nothing about. But and it's just 8 players in double elimination groups into 4-man playoffs. And you know what? When you look at it and compare it to the Spring Masters tournament, it kind of looks overwhelming. That they have a smaller prize pool, they have fewer players. It's just, I think that they're taking a step back. Like, this is not something I expected from Gfinity, because when I saw them upgrading from 7K to 10K prize pool between Spring 1 and Spring 2, I figured that Hearthstone will be one of the major reasons, one of the major disciplines for them coming into 2015.
They may still not be totally sure. They may have had expectations when they did those initials offerings, and they may not have gotten exactly what they wanted back. So they may be playing it safe now, and you can't really blame them. You really can't.
I mean, the scene is really crowded.
Yeah.
I think we covered that topic already, like many episodes ago, with saturation.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the key here. So, taking a step back can certainly make sense. Like, it depends what happens the 22th, maybe, but...
I mean, as you said, like, there are a lot of tournaments happening online, and they're really bigger than Gfinity. So there will always be the thing where you have to consider what do you want to do. And traveling to Gfinity, even if it's maybe even a bigger prize pool than an online event, and a lot of online events now have like upwards of $10,000, it still requires traveling, it still requires money investment. So it's a big deal.
Now, if they cover the travel expenses, then that's not so bad.
Yeah,
but
still though, like you have to spend money while you're in London. London's not cheap. You have to invest time traveling, which means it's a 2-day event, so at least 4 days off your computer, which you can spend streaming or doing something else.
And that's like several $100s of lost income, or thousands in the case of Forsen.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good job to have. That's a good job to have. What I can tell. So yeah. Again, I'm not really hyped for Gfinity myself, because the prize pool doesn't warrant it. I'm kind of being a dick, because many of those players I know. I mean, especially Deathlord, he actually worked closer with us to help us find the qualifier brackets. Like, he helped us a lot, because we were not getting any responses from Gfinity. And he's a really cool dude, and it kind of hurts me to say, oh, this is a tournament that I'm probably not going to watch, because there aren't any big names. And I know Legendarian as well. Again, he's a Ghost Cup champion. But then again, like, probably I'll throw an eye or two, because, well, what else I'm going to watch? But it certainly doesn't feel like something that I will leave real life or other obligations to spend like 10 hours watching this.
I'm actually going to watch this, because I know the teams that are in there, specifically the Fate to Karma. And And I've noticed that in a lot of these lower like publicized tournaments, you see some of the greatest playing ever. And then you look at some of these highly publicized, overly hyped stuff. You see some shit playing all around. So I'm expecting like some fireworks to go off there. Really, I want to be impressed. I honestly think I'm gonna get it there versus more higher end production.
Yeah, you know, I really hope that I not even plays, but I just put this on stream and see some crazy shit, you know, deck building that I haven't really seen, because these guys, you know, they do not necessarily go or abide by the standard deck building that we see in high level tournaments. Like Hawkeye.
Well,
Hawkeye was one of the guys that would regularly bring Shaman to a tournament, and although like his Shaman list couldn't be said that it's non-standard because it's pretty much the good old mid-range Shaman, it's still something that you almost never see.
Yeah, it's kind of an anomaly, but surprisingly enough, the statistics on it back it as being a lot stronger than it should be.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, two of the members that are going to be there are in a team that also has Toyota in it. If you've ever seen any of the stuff that Toyota does, a lot of his deck designs are pretty insane. You know, they're anticipating certain meta shifts, and now working in a team environment, you kind of have to expect that sort of creativity to filter down to the rest of the team as well.
True. Anyways, moving away from Gfinity because we kind of derailed the topic here. Team Archon, one of the biggest teams in Hearthstone, expanded into Dota 2 and signed a team North American Rejects, who you know, are in the qualifiers for the international. So
that team name is so apropos considering.
Yeah. So I'm kind of sad that we don't have Scheme or Fantasy, you know, on the show, because they are really into Dota. So we can't really talk much about them. I just wanted to say, well, you know, this is the how to put it. This is the last of the big Hearthstone team that expands beyond Hearthstone. Because Temple Storm now have CS:GO, and Heroes of the Storm, Nihilum have again CS:GO. Also, they have Heroes of the Storm, I believe.
Yes.
What else? Cloud9 has a bunch of rosters. So again, the last one of those teams to expand. I think it was about time. I certainly did not expect Dota.
No, I didn't either.
I still thought that it would be like Heroes of the Storm, because it's kind of like
that's what the cool kids are good doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not to mention, you know, it's another Blizzard product. That's Blizzard support. Wink, wink. Hint, hint.
Yeah. That was my reaction expectation. Just because, you know, when you're a Blizzard founded team, I mean, not Blizzard founded team, but a team that was founded around the Blizzard game, you usually expand into another Blizzard game just because the communities kind of overlap. But
it's a lot simpler.
Yeah, but Hearthstone, Dota, you know, it's a big difference between the two games. You know, Hearthstone, one of the easiest esports to play, Dota, one of the hardest esports to play. But anyways, good luck to the guys. I'm curious how the affair will turn out, because for those of you who don't follow Dota at all, I still kind of throw an eye or two because of my job. Dota is really, really dependent and affected by the international, and a lot of the teams disband after the international. This is a fact, you know.
Talk about a healthy scene.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing. Like, there are big shuffles all the, you know, for many weeks after the international. Now we see a lot of teams disbanding or changing their rosters completely. So I'm not sure if it's smart for Archon to invest into a team before TI5, because in the end the guys can just say fuck it if they finish atrociously, and then, you know, the investment is kind of moot because you don't have a team anymore, or, you know, a group of people that don't want to play with each other. But then again, you cannot really sign anybody after the international, because the winner will cost you a shit ton of money, and the losers will take several weeks to find their new homes and their new rosters to be reestablished. But anyways, we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, but that's you know, the first comments on the article. One of the first comments on the article that we published is like, disband after TI, which is the sad reality of the scene, actually. But anyways, again, moving to another news. Trump won his first tournament ever, claiming HTC Recharged, winning against Naguri, who is a Korean player. Again, I think he is an ex-Magic the Gathering pro. I do not know much about him. But, apart from this, he won against Life Coach.
Yeah, he beat the rope.
He beat the rope. He beat the rope in the first round. Then Bunny Muffins, who is, the new up-and-coming player and qualifier winner. He beat Dog, which I really did not expect, especially being down 2-0 against, I would argue, the best rising star on the NA scene at the moment. I think, by the end of July, he will be on top of the scene.
I agree.
I mean, in terms of our rankings, because everybody can argue whatever he wants, but Dog is on such a fire at the moment. Like, he's crushing HPL.
He's on a huge roll, and that's kind of how Hearthstone goes. Sometimes you're on that win streak. Nothing can stop you.
Yep.
And then you draw the back end of your hand 20 games in a row.
Yes. So, congrats to Trump. To Trump and etc. So, did you guys see much of the tournament? Because I missed 100% of it, actually.
Yeah,
I saw the Trump versus Dog. That's it.
I mean, I had to cover it because nobody was around. So I covered it, and a several-hour phone advertisement that happened to have a Hearthstone tournament in it, and then
Thank you.
and then I had to report the results. So yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It really shows the power of conquest when you have so many come from behind events wins. So, I mean, congrats to Trump. I mean, he's an awesome streamer.
Yeah, there was actually a lot of. I'm not sure if it was DDoSing, but the HTC Sports department said it was a problem with the servers of Twitch or something. But the stream, from what I saw, the stream lagged and went down so many times, and people were joking, oh, Samsung is here, sabotaging the HTC tournament.
I had to blame Apple before I blamed Samsung.
I asked if this was the iPhone 6 tournament, but nobody really responded. So, what can I say? Anyways, moving on to another tournament.
Oh God.
Oh God. We have to come to it eventually, because it's the biggest tournament happening at the moment. It will be the biggest tournament probably either until WCA announce some ridiculous prize pool, or if they don't, BlizzCon. We're talking, of course, the 250k Archon Team League Championship, or ATLC for short. The biggest team league basically in Hearthstone. It started last week. We have 8 teams. We covered it a bit in the past episode, but all the big names of Hearthstone are there. Even teams that were formed specifically for the tournament, including Force and Boys and Value Town, captained by Force and Trump respectively. So we talked about ATLC in weeks ago when the tournament was first announced. But now it's finally here, now it's finally happening. And let's start with our impressions. And when I'm saying this, we're leaving the drama for last, because I don't want this to be, another Rec Full Circle joke, because we already covered it, I think, quite extensively. Although we will talk about the drama for a while. I'm gonna start here with Chief, because I remember when every time we talk about the tournament with funny ideas, or, a funny player lineup or something like this, you always mention how production quality is, the most important thing, like presentation, like packaging it. From what you saw at ADLC, are you satisfied? Are you not satisfied? What are your first impressions?
I was actually really satisfied with everything except for the casting. I love the little character. Yeah, I can't say that word, but the little cartoon drawings of the players as they had them on there. I thought that was really kind of cool. Even though they both made Dog and Jackie look way more Asian than they should have been. But they were good. They were really good, except for Forsen looking like, a 6-year-old about ready to be taken over by a very, very deranged clown. But
that's a pretty, specific description of Forsen.
I didn't want to say a word that might be quote-unquote triggering, But we're saving that for the end.
If it's not.
Are you?
I didn't want to say pedo. We'll save that for the end. All right. Oh wait, I said it anyway.
You're just enabling force and culture at the moment.
Damn right I am, sir. Because you know what? Team Force and Force of Boys did win fucking insanely well there.
Right.
They did great. I thought the whole production value was actually pretty good. I was a little miffed and a little concerned about Frodan's hair. That kind of scared me. It looked like a pumpkin.
It's just the novelty factor. You'll get used to it.
It's like somebody beat him up with a pumpkin. But other than that, it was actually a really good series to watch. I liked how they everything was implemented really nice. And the fact is, not even the casters knew who was coming up next. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah,
for me. It's like, I don't know, because the rules are so ambiguous. Anybody can come up now.
I mean, that's kind of the story of the event. Like, when it came to the casting, even before we start mention Mr. R, even before we start mention that, then, you know, I was not impressed by the casting overall. Like, it felt below what it should have been in terms of quality. Like, this is the biggest event outside of BlizzCon, and, you know, we kind of expect better than what we got.
Yeah, I think like the sheer grandeur of the event in terms of prize pool, in terms of you know, endeavor, kind of sets the bar too high. I think because you know if you take away the casting, except Wreckful, and put it into any other tournament, I think we would actually kind of be okay with it. Like, yeah, it can fit like a $5,000 invitational, and nobody will mind. I mean, there will always be like sapcasters comments, but this is always going on, right? But when you put it into perspective and let's say, okay, you have a $250,000 on the line, this shit is supposed to be like the fucking Super Bowl, right? Like so much money are put into it. It has to be 100%
It was the all-star game for Hearthstone, and you know, there was a lot of things that just did not click there. A lot of things that didn't click, and you know, I know we were supposed to say this, but I'm going to do it now. I don't give a damn. Wreckful, seriously, human speech is not done in 140 character bits. You do not burst information the way you do. You actually have a conversation. All your sentence structures were extremely short and incomplete. Half the time you weren't paying attention, and I'm actually going to agree with a person who I can't stand at all on this. You didn't do a very good job casting, and yes, I agree. However, your removal from casting, I understand why it was done, but I still think that was kind of shady.
Okay, let's...
I mean, okay, if we're gonna jump to it, then, I mean...
Guys, let's open the can of worms.
It was not on me. It's all on you, Chiv. Like I wanted to savor it for last, but let's. The can is open, Stefan.
I got anger on this.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I didn't watch much of it, but yeah, it was like I didn't get the event where everyone talks about, but I did see some of Wreckful's casting. It was Wreckful. Like
it was Wreckful.
Yeah, I mean. It's kind of... I don't even know what to say about it. Like,
it was like watching a car accident in slow motion.
I mean, and also the funds. Like, I mean, it's clear to understand because we have no precedent for how things are supposed to happen this way if casters goes nuts. Like, I mean, but the whole way it was handled, like, I mean, I can understand it from like he basically have a Amass basically has a gun to his head at this point from his sponsors and from Blizzard, and at that point you're kind of stressed. So I understand it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think what Amaz... Okay, you know, Amaz had to do what he had to do, and I'm not going to deny that, all right? You know, when you're dealing with sponsors, dealing with any large organization that basically controls the product you're working with, you must abide by certain terms. This comes with being an adult. You kind of realize these things. Wreckful, in the word usage that he used, okay, I'll even admit that one word that began with an R that apparently is a triggering word.
Now we can say it. It's rape. It was rape. Like I don't.
Okay, yeah, but if you look at the context of where he used it, it's like he has now set his board up to be raped by Swipe. Is how he said that. Now, this is exactly what I would have said to my friends as we were playing a game. But that's the thing. That's when you're talking with your buddies. Being a caster, however, you cannot talk to
Heck,
your
you could
audience in that way.
You could say that as a streamer, and I think that's kind of what the
Yeah.
problem. Yeah. Like he said that like a streamer, okay, but he's a caster for the biggest event in a long time. Like,
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
is
Yes.
you can get away with that. Like I've probably seen players say that something like that. I don't think it would have been a
Oh,
problem, but
I've seen some top level streamers say some things that they would never say to their grandmother on their streams. I've heard people call other people some derogatory gay words that I don't really wish to say right now. I've probably uttered them myself at least 1,000 times in reference to hunters.
I'm just gonna open another beer because that's the time to do it.
Yep.
But-
Okay. Shiv's talking. Time to get drunk. Yeah, that's a good. That you'll understand me a whole lot better now.
No, everything makes sense now.
Everything makes sense now. Shiv's
No,
world is true.
I have to rewatch all the Innervated episodes while drunk, and it will be like playing a song backwards. I just understand Chip's deep meaning and understanding of how like holy shit, there's like aliens, you know, it's proven now or something like this.
Damn it! You're derailing my anger.
Oh shit,
right.
sorry. Yeah, continue being
But-
angry.
All right, so yeah, he totally dropped the ball on that. He was definitely the worst possible person they could. Well, actually, no, second worst possible person they could have actually gotten on this. 'cause
Who's the
he's
first then? Who's the first then?
Oh, it would be this redheaded ginger bastard who works for the Daily Dot.
God.
His casting was probably one of the most atrocious, which I'm going to get to his fucking ass here, too. Because that little clickbait sensationalist journalist piece of shit had to open his mouth to try to drum up page views. Oh, yeah, motherfucker. War. It's on. All right, so they could have picked anybody else. Amaz had to step in. And then Amaz kind of dropped the ball PR-wise by making a Twitter comment about this and everything, which then enabled yet that bastard to make an article about this and drum up all this drama. Yes, because Hearthstone needs that. More fucking drama.
Well, to be
but,
fair,
you know,
I also did this, so...
yes, I know you did. But I like you. I'm biased, and I'll admit that. But I will
Disclose
say
it.
there is one positive thing about this. They are getting a new caster. I know who the caster is. I'm not going to say, but I'm very happy because it's actually one of my favorite casters to see
Oh god, it's
doing...
noxious, right?
I'm not saying a goddamn word, motherfucker. Don't make me sell people out. But they are getting a new caster. It's a good caster. And definitely,
Okay,
I can't wait to see the interaction between him and Frodan. It's going to be just beautiful.
Is he short?
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then.
Okay,
Stop
so,
digging!
So
I won't
Noxious
give you
is
nothing.
going to cast the AGLC.
You're a bastard. You know that?
I know.
But anyway, so yeah. So there is a positive there. But on the other side, Rekful has also been invited to another Hearthstone event to cast. So this really didn't hurt him. It didn't hurt him at all. People are like, okay, so he was being real. Hell yeah, we'll get him. We just know that he's got a mouth on him. Now people know. So, I mean, there's an up and a downside.
Which event was that? Because I can easily imagine some smaller event go all like, holy shit, all the eyes on him. We need to get him in here and get their eyes on.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, basically they're getting him because of the fucking shock value. It's like the drama. It'll instantly create hype for a lower end event.
And this is why you get Rekful by default, right? You don't get him for insights in the
Oh, hell
Hearthstone
no.
games because he doesn't have any. But again,
Yeah, like he said, oh yeah, this match is not going to be won by this class because they're playing this type of deck, and what ended up happening, Forsen took it with that deck. So I was like, wow, you haven't played this game much, have you, sir?
But like I wrote into my editorial that I published a few days ago. It's like I have as many problems with Archon as I have with Rekful. Rekful is obviously, did shameful casting, really tasteless, really disgusting. And not just because about the rape comment. I think like the rape comment was the smallest issue out there, and I wrote it into the article even though people didn't really understand what main point I was making. The fact that he was showed disinterest and was unattentive and didn't give
that was my big problem with him as
he
well.
didn't give a shit about the job he was hired to do. This grinded my gears, but again, like I have as much problems with Archon as well because first of all they hired him to cast, And you cannot truly say, oh, we didn't know he was going to go apeshit, because he has a proven history of going apeshit.
Going apeshit, yeah.
I mean,
I've actually had to experience part of that apeshit bullshit myself, because of my show that I was doing back in the day, Deck Talk. Because Noxious actually came up with a deck, and apparently Wreckful had a similar deck. And then all of a sudden, all the Wreckful fans came by and just started shit about it.
Yeah, anyways, I mean, Hearthstone fans will remember Lord of the Arena 2 when the whole derogatory casting when it came to Nadia and how it happened. Like, it was so bad that Tempo Storm had to issue a formal apology, because Wreckful is associated with their organization. Yeah, he is a misogynist. I mean, he broke up with his girlfriend on stream, so kind of not really the thing you do if you're a decent human being. But anyways, like, you have to expect this kind of behavior from Wreckful. You cannot really say, oh, I wasn't expecting this. I was talking to Rania, Crib's fiance, who's also taking care of the tournament. And she is, a person I deeply respect in the Hearthstone community, because she's doing God's work basically. And she gave me the explanation. Well, we kind of needed a famous caster that to draw in viewers, which of course is understandable. And she said, well, everybody else is playing in their tournament. Well, that's not really a valid excuse, because if you look at a tournament like House Cup, everybody's playing in this tournament as well, but then they still got together and cast. And we were talking, in chat, like in the Innervated chat, about we can just take the day one guys, cast day two games, and vice versa. Like, pick one guy, pick one pro player to act as analyst, hook him up with Frolan. Like, Frolan, he can carry any broadcast, even if the analyst is shit. Like, he carried Wreckful, for fuck's sake. So,
yeah, he did carry Wreckful. Oh my god, did he carry Wreckful? Like, when Wreckful made the statement, like, Frodan didn't even miss a beat, didn't even pay attention to it. He just went right back to it. Like, I was like, thank you, Frodan, with your pumpkin-colored hair.
Yeah, so again, like, this is not a valid excuse. Like, you could have found ways around Wreckful. And you could have gotten people that would have drawn viewers. Like, it's easy to get Forsen to cast when he's not playing.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing though: if they had just gone to their player base, they would have saved themselves some money.
Yep.
Because you got to pay that caster. You don't have to pay the players because they're playing to compete.
Yeah, exactly.
They could have saved themselves some money, but personally, I'm happy that they're going with the whole two steady commentators, because people like consistency. When you're changing out like the players,
I agree.
you get an inconsistent flow, and that will make it a little bit harder on Frodan to keep up.
Yeah, but this, I'm sorry, but this would have never worked with Wreckful, because if you want to build in a consistent casting duo or three or whatever, Wreckful doesn't work, because even if he goes one day without saying stupid shit, he will do immediately the next day or something like this. So sometimes at some point he will slip and say something stupid, and it didn't really take him that long, as we can see. Like, it was 10 minutes or something like into the cast when he already showed like he wasn't cut out for this. But anyway,
he literally looked very incompetent in the position, and I'm going to say that, incompetent. He looked very incompetent in doing what he was doing. It wasn't professional. It wasn't very good at all. He had to go. I just don't think they needed to make a spectacle out of it, as they did with the Twitter, and then with Daily Dot's slumlord of a journalist making this huge article, and then a YouTube fucking video about that shit too.
Why are you hating him so much? Like, I'm not really I'm not really comfortable, commenting on my colleagues' work, because we're journalists. We kind of have to stick together. But
I'm not.
You're not. Like, okay, let's forget I asked this question, because we're gonna derail it.
I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna answer it in the simplest and nicest way I possibly can. I do not care for his journalistic style, because one, he's shown a history of out of context statements, misquotations. He cites secret sources that later have been proven did not exist. So pretty much he's using his own speculation and then trying to hide it through other things. Not to mention the fact that you look at everything he's ever written, and most of it is crap. You look at his profile pic. He's got his gaming headset on backwards. That was like clue one that something's not right about this guy. I tried to actually give this guy the benefit of the doubt. I watched him stream. I watched some of his YouTubes. I did not want to hate people. I didn't want to hate him. But the more he kept talking, the more I kept saying, "Wow, this guy doesn't know his head from the hole in the ground."
Okay.
I just felt like he was incompetent in that too. So
Look,
I mean, to have two people basically bitching about incompetency of each other was fucking hilarious to me.
let's move on though.
All right, I'm done bitching on Callum.
Anyways, I just want to stay on ATLC topic a bit more, and this time is not about drama. This time is a bit more about the tournament itself, and particularly the format. Now, the format is best of 11 team conquest. So the way it works is every player brings
players.
two classes, two decks, and then they can switch around all they want. With the exception of if he loses 2 games, I think he's benched or something. Unless
Didn't Colento get benched?
I don't know. I didn't watch a lot of the games.
Yeah, I think Colento got benched.
But yeah, so this is kind of a different compared to standard team leagues. Because the standard team leagues usually get a lineup of players and they play between each other like a best of 3 or best of 5, and whoever wins more best of 3s or best of 5s wins in the end, right? The series. So again, there's a bit difference. What do you guys make of it? Do you like how they set it up? Is it too confusing or maybe even a bit more interesting?
I found it interesting enough. Like, I mean, you kind of have to decide on the fly what you expect to go up against. So, you know, I mean, there's a bit more, you know, preparation needed. So, you know, I actually like it. I mean, brought some good matches.
There were some extremely good matches. I think the whole best of 11 thing with Team Conquest, and you know, you brought up the whole confusing thing. I don't think it's really confusing. I think it's just because it's so new. We're not used to that. We haven't adapted to it. So I mean, once we've adapted to it, once we've seen it more, we're gonna know this thing like backwards and forwards and sideways. So I think, you know, it's just gonna take a little time for the community to accept it as a standard for this event type. And in all honesty, I liked it. I thought it was really cool. You know, the fact that we saw like 2 people who just faced off play up against each other again, or it could have been a totally different person, it added a little bit of flavors, like you didn't know what you were gonna get, and that kind of kept me going. I really like that.
Yeah, I admit, because when they initially told us about the format, I was kind of pissed off. I'd be honest, because we have to cover this tournament, okay, like on GhostGamers.net, and this is a bit difficult to cover, right? Because it's essentially up to 11 best of ones. So it kind of like irritated this guy's like, like come on, like why can't you be standard like normal people? Like when the Chinese do things normally and you do it abnormally, that's a new thing to me. I expect, you know, I'm used to the Chinese guys, you know, doing something wild, and you know, I'm not used to seeing it in the Western world. But anyways,
Amaz,
come on, like he's not Chinese, he's Hong Kongian. Is that even
what the fuck is Hong Kongian? What the hell?
Very racist, that's what it is.
Last time I checked, there was still a red flag over Hong Kong, sir.
That's not racism if you don't know what the residents of Hong Kong. That's just plain stupidity on my part. So okay,
actually, that's ignorance.
Ignorance.
Yeah, but I'm also stupid. So okay,
we agree on something.
What are people in Hong Kong called then? Hong Kongers? No, like I have to check this now. Jesus.
Derail.
No.
We're gonna be renamed from Late Boys to Derail Boys. You know that, right?
Shut up. Let's see. Hong Konger or Hong Kongese.
Hong Kongese.
Hong Kongese. No, Hong Konger. Well, Hong Konger sounds a lot like Donger. Raise your. Okay, enough being racist. Because that's getting there almost.
Yeah. I don't know if they're like Mandarin or Cantonese, because I don't know much about like that Asian specific cultural thing. So I'm not even touching that.
Yeah, I have no idea. Let's not be ignorant anymore. But yeah, again, back to the former thing. I really find it interesting now that I've seen it work, because as you said, there's always the element of surprise, right? Because you know, it's if it was going to be just a team league with standard format, it's basically not different than a conquest tournament. Okay, I mean, sure, they play this within theme matches, these best of threes or best of fives, but in the end, it's still conquest. It's still the old conquest, the series of individual matches. They just count towards different things. And I'm almost glad now that Amaz and the guys decided to do it this way, although it's going to be a bitch to cover overall. And this is why we're actually making changes to our system so that we can incorporate it. But yeah, I've always been, you guys know me, to be a fan of format diversity. I think this is the most important thing that will save Hearthstone. It will keep it fresh for the future. It won't be new cards, because new cards get figured out in weeks. Mm-hmm. Because 30 million players are playing this game, it won't take them too much time. But right. Format diversity is something that I will applaud everybody when he does it, even if it ends up being a train wreck or a stupid decision or something terrible. At least now you have the knowledge. You won't find out what works and what doesn't if you are always sticking to conquest or to last man standing like last year.
Well, you also got to realize, Blizzard made an esport out of something that never was meant to be an esport. All right, you look at some of the other ones out there. There's been shooter games forever and a day. There's been MOBAs all over the place. There's actually like so many MOBAs now, it's not even funny. All right, but then you get to like competitive card games. You only have one frame of. Yes, right. You only have one frame of reference, and that's pretty much Magic the Gathering. Of course, you could also cite Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and of course the Warhammer or Warcraft.
Yeah, but it's
trading
dead
card
now.
Game.
It's dead now.
Yes, that's dead now. So you can take a little bit from that reference point, but now you're translating it to digital domain. You have so much possible options here, and a lot of these organizers are actually taking advantage of that, and I applaud them for it. They should be. We need this. We need more creativity in these type of things, because if it's the same damn tournament, just putting a different brand on top of it, it's just going to get boring real quick.
It's getting stale. Anyways, So, overall impressions of HLC, good stuff. We are not disappointed. It was not shit.
I give it a B+.
B+ is okay. Maybe if they...
Long as I ignore Wreckful, it gets a B+. If I factor in Wreckful, it gets a D-.
You're getting the D, huh? Okay.
He's getting the D.
He's getting the D. Another Wreckful comment. Anyways, moving on to the second main topic of tonight, which is tied to a news we didn't actually mention in the news recap because I wanted to leave it for later. Namely, Blizzard teased that there's something coming on July 22nd, and all hints point towards an announcement of a new expansion.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, there was a letter sent to the PC Gamer offices which talked about how people should mark their calendars for July 22nd, and
you forgot about the trumpet noise when they opened
it
too.
Yes, it was in an actual container, and it made trumpet noises when opened. PC Gamer source also pointed out that there will be an announcement coming. It will not be the actual content, which is of course we kind of expected this. If it's something big, they're not just going to announce it willy-nilly, to release it willy-nilly, and so we're getting an announcement, and it's probably, let's say, 99% safe to say it's going to be an announcement of a new expansion. Of course,
that would make sense considering.
Yeah, considering it's just, I think like the last time they announced an expansion was again in the summer or something like this.
Right. You look at Naxxramas. Naxxramas came out on July 22nd.
Right. Exactly. So
it would follow suit, yes. But then again, Blizzard's been known to kind of change things up midstream, So what you might be expecting, what you might be thinking, you never know. Like, a lot of us speculated when we got Blackrock Mountain that there was enough time frame for yet another expansion to easily fill in the summer to fall area, and thus have a pack expansion in winter. This would make sense. This kind of follows along something else that another company did. But when we got the Brawl, a lot of people started going, oh, this must be what it was going to be, so they kind of just wrote it off of that. But now we're getting something else, and they're going, oh, wait a minute, I didn't expect that. Hold on.
And with the trumpet noise and how the letter was sent and formatted and worded, people are guessing and placing their bets that it will be the Argent tournament. Now the Argent tournament was an event during the Wrath of the Lich King, right? Somebody knows better than me. And it was really cool. Like it had world events, it had raids, it had dungeons.
Mm, yeah, cool. I mean, all right. Let's just say that it was. I mean, it was cool, but it was, an expansion of Raw awesome. So it was. It's generally considered a down point in that expansion, which actually also makes it really weird choice because the Argent, the Trial of the Crusader, and Jarl of the Champion are generally speaking considered some of the weakest raids in World of Warcraft history. Like they are not.
They were really
liked.
bland.
They were casual mode at best.
Yeah, like I mean, it was a time when Blizzard was still figuring out their whole hard heroic normal system, and their solution at the time was to allow players to do them 4 times a week. So yeah, it's like, and that's kind of what makes it weird for me because why the F would they make an expansion of their weakest content? And that's kind of what I mean. Yeah.
Well, hold up.
And there's one thing I know what people are saying, and that is this the build up? The Argent tournament build up to the Ice Crown adventure?
Maybe.
Like that would make sense. That's kind of the main price.
Here's what I think we're going to get. We're going to get the Argent tournament. It's going to be like another PvE expansion type thing. Mm-hmm. All right. And then what we're going to get is in the
PVX,
like BRM, like BRM.
Really? You really think so?
This
would be bad.
It would be bad, but it's either going to be a pack expansion or some sort of other thing. But what I foresee is when they go to do the Ice Crown, they have to introduce a new class, and you know what class that's going to be, and that's got to be Death Knight. Yeah. So this might be like setting the stage for that whole Death Knight thing to come in. They might actually switch it off. Instead of having a winter release of pack expansions, they might do the pack expansion here in the summer and then have the whole Wrath of the Lich King as a
PvE expansion.
A PvE expansion at the back end. That way they can introduce the Death Knight, have those new cards, everything ready for it. But I don't know if that's going to work in all.
I mean, really part of me is still thinking, like, I don't see them, I don't think introducing classes is really something, like, first of all, they've talked about this a lot, and their stance have always been, we are not working on it.
Yeah.
And, like...
Well, they're never going to tell you that they are going to be working on it, because people would be demanding it. People have been demanding Death Knight since, like, before CBT.
I know.
All right? This would literally be to make everybody happy, because Lord knows they're not giving us deck slots.
It's the technology to invent the class is there.
I mean, I think it's definitely time for pack expansion. Like, it's been 7 months, almost exactly, since GVG, and we've only had 31 new 31 new cards since
Winter.
That means Dr. Boom's due for his nerf. I just realized that. Undertaker, Dr. Boom. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, they just put it to 6-7. It will all be okay.
Wouldn't it be funny if that announcement is actually just to mislead everybody, and then they're just going to announce the nerfs, and you'll see Dr. Boom nerfed? Oh man, the Reddit riot would be epic.
Like, I won't be around. I'll switch to Heroes and then Overwatch if that's the case. Like, if they're announcing, if it's just new
abandoned ship.
Seriously, like, get the F out, like. But no, I mean,
I've seen so many rumors and theories of what this could be. It could just be the rest of the skins coming out. It could be for the new Paladin skin.
Oh god, please! If this is the case again, it will be the most useless and overhyped hype in the history of hyping. Like, you cannot really send a mail to one of the biggest gaming medias, and then they open it and they get pretty hyped, and then you say, oh well, more deck portraits. Like, people will go to Anaheim and burn them down.
Curse of Next Varma's mismanagement hype.
Oh
like,
my god, yeah.
Like this. That would be awful, and I don't see them doing that. Like,
in all honesty, I honestly do think it's probably going to be a pack expansion, because you look at GVG, they sent out something similar to a lot of stream personalities and news agencies with those little blueprint design things.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, there's a lot of relevance there. Not to mention, if you actually read that document, right? Read that document, well met. right? Paladin. All right, champions, something that's associated with paladins left and right.
Muster for battle.
Muster for battle. Paladin. So
Yeah.
when you think of paladin and anything in reference to paladin, when it comes to World of Warcraft, one of the biggest things that come up is like anything with the word Argent. So
Yep.
there you go, or Scarlet Crusade for some odd reason.
Well, that's kind of when you kill paladins. That's those you fight. Like whenever you're killing paladins, that's those guys.
And nobody ever talks about the Silver Hand.
No,
But,
those guys died.
I think they will. Yeah.
Yeah. Into the Argent Crusade.
It's the Argent Crusade, right? But so I mean, it's the most logical conclusion of where you can draw to. I mean, I sat for hours. I asked everybody I knew, some of the people who work at Blizzard that I still have contacts with, who tell me I should really stop making fun of Ben Brode. I've talked to a lot of like stream personalities, pro gamers, and they're pretty much all on the same page. We'd like to see it be more than just that. We'd like to see some more additions to the game itself. Deck slots, tournament mode.
Well, maybe it's the Archer tournament. Maybe there will be a tournament mode.
Tournament
you
mode.
never
That's
know.
the other thing that came up.
Know.
Yes, yes, that could be. It could just be called the Argent Tournament. And that's the tournament mode. But where would you fit it? That would require so much of a UI redesign.
No, I don't think this is coming. No, but it's still.
It's too soon from the new brawl. Like, but there is one other thing I'd like to mention, and that is we are getting like the Argent tournament was kind of the first event that really took the whole faction focus. Like it was. The original class faction, the original race factions had been completely useless beforehand, and now suddenly they had some kind of presence. And if we're looking at the ever-eternal, the guide from Blizzard on future content, which is the, what's the word? The backgrounds on the deck, nope, I'm blind. The same way we got pirates and ninjas and gnomes. What am I thinking? I have completely lost my words.
Compendulum, lexicon.
No, the card backgrounds. Like each.
Okay.
The card backs. Yeah, the card backs. Basically, like we're getting. We got the Nasus, and now we're getting Vol'jin, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. Like. And that's the same case.
We call it Vol'jin, but it's actually listed as, what is it, Sen'jin.
Yeah, well, they even threw Vol'jin on the background and the promotional art. But anyway.
I
know. But anyway, yeah, like, so we are kind of seeing that same thing, and if they don't really have time to do them all if they're releasing it next month. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of also a clue.
I don't think they're gonna. Yeah, they'll be releasing it like end of August because you need at least a couple weeks of putting up some of the content of what's going to be coming out because you got to hype it.
Yeah, obviously. So this is late August, the soonest, and then Icecrown announcement at BlizzCon, like it lines up.
It makes sense. It
makes perfect sense. It really does.
Like that there's no better time to reintroduce Arthas. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't line up better, like.
What if you have to complete like Icecrown just to unlock Death Knight as a class? How many people are going to be butthurt?
No, you have to complete it on heroic.
Oh,
pay to fucking win.
That is not pay to win because you can grind gold for it. No, sir.
Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to shoot some more questions about the expansion because I think we've speculated enough what it's going to be. But let's talk about speed and rotation and all this kind of good stuff because, when you look at it, Hearthstone is in the middle of, well, it releases content slower than paper TCGs, but faster, much slower.
Yeah. Like. This is
they're starting to catch up though in this year. They are starting to. If they're going 3, like two expansions, 1 core, then they are definitely catching up.
Yeah,
but it's still way less cards than because Magic is releasing what, like 400 new cards a year, something like this.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but then again, some of them are reprints. Maybe let's say 250 or 300 or something like
Like
this.
even if we look at Yu-Gi-Oh, which is the closest thing with the same,
Number.
with the same format of release, it uses the legacy format, so there's no fallout.
Yeah.
It still doesn't compare, not even close. Like they need to, if they were aiming for that, they would need to double it or something. Like
Then again, like Hearthstone is releasing more stuff than its online competitors. Like if you look at other games that are competing for the same market, they're a bit slow. And
yeah,
you know,
but Hearthstone's dominating those.
oh yeah,
Like,
true. But, and
There are others? What?
I don't remember who said it, like if it was in our show or it was in a conversation between friends or colleagues. But for these digital card games, you have to account for other developments like voice,
Indeed.
quotes
I
and
mentioned
animations and artwork, etc.
I also
So-
mentioned that in my legacy article. Like that's
maybe-
definitely one of the explainable
Maybe
reasons.
this is where I read it. Yeah. So okay, do you guys think that Blizzard should speed up, or this is still a good tempo to release new cards? Like let's say 2 adventures and 1 pack set per year, or they should at least try for two for 2 or something like this.
I
I mean, I'm just asking objectively because
I think it's a good how they're doing it now. I think it is. If you speed up too much, then what you're going to end up inevitably doing is you're going to make any new player who comes into the game at a massive disadvantage. All right? So those of us who've been playing since OBT, day one, all right, we've been able to basically free to play and maybe spend a little bit of money here or there and damn near have complete collections without having to shell out a huge chunk at the beginning. But newer players, as they're coming into the game later on, they're going to be a huge disadvantage. The only way you could kind of solve this is basically like phasing out some of them as you're moving on, much in the same way like Magic did with like Type 2. But the problem is you get with that, then people who've saved up all these things then kind of get punished for it.
I don't like this was basically what my legacy article was about, and I basically says this is not gonna happen because, and basically from what we can read off Blizzard's intentions, they don't seem to be wanting that either. Like they are really consumer friendly, and few things are as consumer enemist as taking away the established cells. Like you can't just do that. Like, I mean,
No, you
Magic
can't.
have gotten away with that for years, and the WoW TCG tried to get away with this, but it's
And
dead.
people lashed out. oh my god, did they lash
I mean, and that's kind of the problem, really. Like, just because Magic can do this, like, every company in the world would try to do this if they could get away with canceling their consumers' last buy and forcing them to buy new ones.
Yeah.
Every single company in the world, it's a corporate dream, basically. And I don't think Blizzard can get away with it. Like, I mean, the WoW TCG didn't close because of profitability. Like, let me put it that way. It's lack of that closes TCGs.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Again, I want to bring up, because we talked about Stefan's article, and you're working on another one. Currently, it's called "My Wishes for the Forthcoming Expansion." Working title.
Silent Chains.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna butcher it in some way after.
Go ahead. The intro is slack.
I haven't read it yet, but I'm just skimming here, and you're talking about a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about in another article I'm working on. And you're giving examples of cards you want to see, and I'm just going to go over the more interesting points and have you argument yourself, because it's an interesting discussion. The first one is anti-aggression. So
Oh god, I love you.
I know that this is why I bring it up, and I know that this has been a topic discussed by prominent players and whatnot. Trying to invent counter cards and whatnot, or counter styles. So what do you want to see anti-aggression cards? Like, is aggro deck really that problematic in your eyes in current meta? Because I know everybody will think like, oh god, yes, Face Counter just killed it with fire. Oh god, Ebola didn't just kill it with fire.
It's over 60% of the meta at any given time.
I know, but it's not so much in tournament format actually.
No, it's not. But again, tournament and the actual grind
And
meta are
of
two totally
course,
different
of course,
beasts.
of course.
Yeah.
Is this why you want to see anti-aggression, to basically normalize the ladder and not skew it towards?
Basically, I want to see cards that cost 5 or more mana in the game. Like, I mean,
That are good. That are good.
That's the cold end of it. But you know, there's plenty. Like, it's basically to enable those cards to have a place in the game. You know, like Pilot Shredder. You know, the really interesting high level stuff. Sneeds. You know, and that's kinda. And the problem is, you know, it's too efficient to rely on 2-drops.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, some of the power distribution in the 1s and 2s is pretty outrageous in certain decks. And then you get to like other decks where they're more slower, i.e. Druid. Their power curves generally don't start till like 5. So they could easily get just shredded apart, and having a recovery feature is really difficult. But then you look at the introduction of the anti-Keel bot. This gave a lot of recovery options to some of these slower decks. We saw Handlock now being able to go toe-to-toe with these aggressive face rush hunters and win because they were able to heal back that damage.
Yeah. I mean, Handlock even wins against Freeze Mage now, and previously it was unthinkable. Like I actually lose a lot to Handlock with my Freeze Mage, because even if you drop them down, they can just double heal bot and heal up, and all your burst is void now.
Yeah, again, so you really have to. You got to come up with like an extra 16 damage.
Now it reminds me of what happened when Sludge Belcher was introduced. Like it was the living dream of the control decks. Like it happened when.
And it's funny. All the top level players said that was a garbage card because it was literally a Senjin and a Goldshire Footman slapped together.
Yeah.
And now it's like probably the most overused 5-drop in the game.
I mean, even aggro decks or quick mid ranges like Hunter use it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But like this especially happens, you know, when did Naxxramas fully roll out in August, right?
Mm-hmm.
So leading from it and into the next set of tournaments, we actually saw a lot of Priest, a lot of Paladin, just because Sludge Belcher was released, just because this. And you guys are talking about mid-range love, and I applaud it because I also want to see, you know, even though I am, you know, die-hard control player, and I would also see, you know, like big bombs and stuff. I kind of stand by your decision, Stefan. So we need more mid-range cards, because in the end, this is Hearthstone's nature, right? It's supposed to be a battle of creatures with spell support. Like this is something that Strifecrawl told me in the first interview I ever did with him. Like this is how he sees Hearthstone to be played. And since then, they've been pushing to this, you know, along these lines, and then yet again never really hitting it, because, you know, it's as Christian said in the past episode, it's way easier to trade the face than to trade the board. And if you introduce, you know, mid-range creatures, that kind of changes, because now you kind of want to trade and do battles with your creatures, because that's the most efficient way.
Yeah, and that's basically what the examples of the anti-aggression are meant to.
Yeah, I want to spoil your article, because I still want to.
Oh, I'm loving this legendary one here, though. This under your examples, Eric Noth. I love him. Arachnoth.
Yeah.
Let's just pull this one. Battlecry, if you have at least 2 other minions, make your hero immune until the start of your next turn. It's a mech, so.
Oh God, even worse.
Anyways, the other thing you said, you want love for overloads, and I know.
What's that to say? Like, I mean, have you seen the number of overload cards in the last Shaman decks? Like, they ditched even Lightning Storm. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you remember how people and pro players were hyped about Lava Shock? And Lava Shock sees exactly 0 play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's like, I mean, Overload is a really peculiar mechanic. Like, I mean, one of the things that I noticed when I look at it, it's that you need, you know, the mechanic is based on commitment, and then in order to benefit from it, you need to commit some more. So, you know, you have the Unbound Elemental, you place the Unbound Elemental, then in order to get it up, you need to play something with Overload, so, you know, a Lightning Shock or something. And then in order to get it, like, there's nothing here that kind of lets you, you know, benefit your mana and slow down. You need to, you know, in order to, you know, unlock those crystals, you need to deal some more damage, and there's nothing here that kind of lets you rest. Like lets you have lets you rely on the opponent. It's just gonna run out of cards every time because you don't have any way of restoring. So
I love this Unleashed Fury. It basically
Fury
makes.
is a great
Oh
card.
man, yeah. There's some shenanigans I can
We-
do in the
we're
early
just-
game
we're
for
just-
a ramp there.
We're just irritating the people right now because they cannot really see the cards. And no, I'm not going to reveal them. It will be an amazing article. We'll promote it when it goes live. It should be this week. Really, read it. There are really cool cards there. But before we close this up, Chiv, I just want to ask about your wish list because we're on this topic about the. Let's call it the Argent tournament because that's probably what's going to be it.
All right. My wish list. Well, my wish list would be one. I'd like to see some more functional, low-cost legendaries.
All right.
All right, we've got one. Let's be honest. We've got one.
well, the others.
And by
couldn't
when I
have-
say low cost, I mean 3 or less.
Okay, so you're kind of
All right.
repeating our card design contest from last week. yeah.
Exactly, because I thought that was actually quite brilliant. I really did. I'd like to see more low-cost legendaries that actually are not complete crap. I would like to see other functionality for Hunter that isn't Smark. Like, if I see one more damage to the face spell, I'm done. Uninstall. But if I see some sort of minion that punishes other board states, I'm all for that. If I see something that makes them want to play something that isn't the most toxic, cancerous, most putrid playstyle ever designed, which kind of goes against the conceptualization of how this game should be played, I'm all for that. I want to see stuff that is not cancer. I really do. But then at the same time, I also understand you have to have these aggro decks because they keep these more control decks in check. They really do. I would like to see some sort of spell taunt.
No,
I would
okay,
love to see that. I'd love to see that, because right now there's only one in the game, and that's a secret that mages can get, which they never use. All right, but I'd like to see that expand beyond there. And I'd like to see a change in Battle Rage. Other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, it's pretty short list. It's okay. Just make the game different. I can understand. Just like if we can get a different Hearthstone than what we have now, that would be splendid. Really splendid. Like
Well, how about this? We just drop it to
Cook
8
Thunder
classes,
and-
Rexar. We'll just drop it to 8. Drop Rexar because nobody cares about him anyway.
Hook Thunder. Basically, that's the moral of the story. Anyways, let's wrap this up. I think we are on a pretty good time. Yeah,
Are we?
we are. Yes, like an hour and something. That's one of our shortest show. Compared to the derailed mechanics episode that went on for 2 hours or something like this.
See, I didn't even bitch that much.
Yeah. So, anyways, closing words before we wrap up the show. Stefan, from you.
Keep an eye out on my article that's coming up this week. That's it. I don't stream anything.
You don't stream Hunter, which is why you're friends with Chiv. You're
Damn
not-
right.
Chiv, any words toward your Hunter fans?
All right, if
Or
you want to
you-
read some, if you want to read some good content, go to Gosu Gamer. Avoid daily dot like the plague. Hashtag.
No,
Fall Out Boys win.
people will think I told you to say that. I did not.
No, he did not. I refuse to support the Daily Dot because everything I've ever seen them publish is absolute garbage. I would actually get my news source from Ghost Gamer more when it comes to Hearthstone than any other site.
This is
Because their
so-
breakdowns, their analysts are actually fucking spot on.
This is so much sounds like I gave you money to say this. I swear I
Oh,
have.
you gave me money? I could fucking use it. Hey, you know what? I should. Hey, give me money. I want money now.
No, let's close the show. Let's close the show before any money is given to anybody. Again, because I should get some money. I really like money. I really like money.
I'd like some money too.
I
I'm
really
broke
like
as shit.
money. I don't know if this is like a selfish, materialistic thing to say, but I really like money. So if somebody wants to give me money, I would help him with this. Like I would.
And he lives in an impoverished state.
Yeah, like, you don't even have to give me a lot of money. Like, I live in Bulgaria. You can give me just like €100, and that's my food for the entire month. I kid you not, really.
€100, that wouldn't even cover my monster expense for a week.
I know, but you're a junkie. So again, thank you guys for the show. I hope you had a good time. We'll be back next Monday with another show. Probably will be longer. I mean, I'm hoping it will be longer than this one, because this kind of ended, on the hour. Because that's actually a really nice duration for a show. I don't know what I say. It's short. But
Wait a minute. You know what we forgot to cover? We actually did forget to cover that. We forgot to cover the Spiders Everywhere brawl.
All right.
The RNG on top of RNG for this week's brawl.
Yeah.
Because we had a tournament on this, and I'm interviewing the winners over PM on Ghost Gamers, and I'm asking them, like, okay, now that you won a web spinner challenge, do you want an unstable portal challenge? And two of them were like, hell no, like, please don't.
Wasn't there some, we had some data mined artwork, and I think there was something like a portal in there, so
Oh god, please, no, please.
I don't know. We can save the discussion for that.
I don't know. It was a fun challenge, but then again, like I've said before, I don't really have any incentive to play these brawls at all. Like, they can do the most fun thing, like if you win 50 games, you get naked Scarlett Johansson on stream like a wallpaper. I would still not. Well, I can play it maybe.
Why Scarlett Johansson? I have to ask this question right now. Why her?
She's fucking gorgeous. Come on, like, what? You don't like Scarlett Johansson?
No, I think she's a great actress, but I just was curious why you went that route.
She's a great actress. Basically, it's like the cop-out saying of, I think she's ugly. Because that's what you say. That's what you say about girls. Like, oh, I think she has a great personality. But she's fat and.
I loved her in, the whole Avengers series and all the rest of the Marvel Universe that she pops up in. And I liked her in that one movie about the guy who can't stop watching porn. I thought she did a really good job there. And there's another one where she's literally wearing this,
what is it,
like, the skin, and she's
something?
an alien of some sort and all that. So, yeah, I actually think she's got great depth of personality when it comes to acting. And, yeah, she's hot as shit. But, I just wanted to know why exactly you went Scarlett Johansson.
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh god, my girlfriend is not watching this. Thank God. I'll probably, still be able to enjoy her body after this show.
She gave me her email the other day too.
Really? What? No, she didn't.
I think I'm gonna post up the link of this to her.
She'll probably watch it. Like, she's constantly looking for ways to unload wrath upon me.
Oh, she's going to after this episode.
Yeah, thank you for being a sport, Chief. It really means a lot. But anyways, thank you guys again for watching, and including the last derailing piece of Scarlett Johanssoning. Tune to twitch.tv.gosu.tv4. Next Monday we'll have another show. You can follow me at GGNidra. See the Twitter below, and you can find my work at gosugamers.net, mine and Stefan's as well. You can find Chiv at. You forgot to promote yourself. You can find
I don't need any promotion. I am one walking promotion of myself. Wherever I go, people know who I am.
Okay, you cannot find him anywhere, so don't bother. He is doing.
Like the plague, I am everywhere.
Yeah, he's doing some car designing stuff with another guy that nobody really knows.
Oh, fuck you!
Like it's like a Canadian dwarf, right? Like, this is.
You're one to talk about dwarfism, seriously.
Like, we established that Noxious is shorter than me, so now I'm allowed to call him dwarf. This is a rare occasion for me. Like, Noxious is a cool guy. He will understand. Like, he will help a short brother. Yeah.
No, he'll just pay me to take you out.
Yeah. Okay, that's our way to go. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning into the show, and join us next Monday.